Today we're going to compare the three versions of the Nuna Triv, the LX, the Next, and the original Triv that's recently been discontinued but still available for purchase several places. So let's get started then, beginning with the newest and most expensive version, the Triv LX, which clocks in at $750. Like all versions of the Triv, the LX has advantages in a quite premium feeling seat, with good padding, an easy to use harness with a magnetic buckle, extra ventilation built into the seat back beneath the liner, both a nicely upright position and newborn acceptable recline, and also having good dimensions, in particular the 52cm backboard. On top of this, the LX has a mechanically simpler than average folding system that's super easy to use, is relatively lightweight for its size at 10 kilos, and lastly, has a defining characteristic over the other two versions of the Triv in its huge wheels, 11.5 inches in the back and 8 in the front. This last factor, though, is a double-edged sword, both making the model's folded dimensions thicker than its brothers, and more importantly, allowing the LX to tackle rougher conditions that are way too much for its lightweight and frankly fragile chassis to take, at least over time, which is a problem in my opinion, because it's not like Nuna's going to advertise the model's weaknesses, making it hard for the average buyer to identify durability differences between the LX and other similarly terrain-capable models. Next up is the Triv Next, which is nearly identical to the LX in all ways, other than a less weight-capable shopping basket, with a capacity of 4.5 kilos versus 10 on the LX, and somewhat smaller wheels, 6.7 inches in the front and 8.7 in the back, which I'd note is still large for smaller, urban-oriented models like these. At the same time, though, the Next also has a flip-flop friendly ballpoint brake and is both lighter at 9 kilos and folds more compactly with 32 centimeters in thickness versus 42 on the LX, where, while in many situations like carrying or packing in the trunk, these differences won't necessarily mean that much, they can impact the ability to gate check these models during travel. The Next version will be a bit harder to push in rougher conditions, like old-style cobblestones or when dealing with snow, but it still does admirably in such situations versus most similarly sized strollers anyway, and in the end, I have to admit that I like it a bit better than the LX, both because its wheels are less inviting of the sort of misuse that may break the chassis of either model, and also because it costs €150 less, which, when the only really important difference between these models is wheel size, means that Nuna's charging around $50 an inch. And last up then is the original version of the Triv, where the current price here is also around €600, just like the Next version, and which has the same great seat and folding system as these others, while also being around 5 centimeters shorter and narrower than the Next. That being said, there are unfortunately a variety of disadvantages with the original versus these other versions, with smaller rear wheels, 7.5 inches, the least accessible shopping basket of the bunch, and the model's chief flaw being that it feels significantly less stable in the rear due to its narrower back frame. In any case, those are the chief differences between the three versions of the Triv as I see it, which feel a bit to me like the tale of Goldilocks, with the Triv LX being a bit too expensive for its durability, the original Triv having that instability flaw, and the Triv Next being just right. We hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as it helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about any of these models, we have standalone reviews for all of them that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.